Mantilla Parato, and today I have an extraordinary guest with us, Dr. Christina Fontana. And my goodness, you guys are going to love her story of evolution from a pharmacist coach to a business and intuitive transformational coach. This woman is touching the lives of thousands through her global speaking engagements, through almost 7 books now. She's on book number 7. She's written 6. You guys can check all of this out. We'll have it in the show notes. She has moved through so much in her life to be where she is today, to leave her career and to follow her soul's calling. And we know it's not easy to do. And today we're going to talk about this process because with the energies that are going on right now, you guys are being called to step it up into the next level and not letting the stories of your past define you. So welcome, Christina. I'm so happy to have you here.
Thank you so much for that beautiful introduction. And you had just taken me through behind the scenes, a very powerful, just like beautiful grounding meditation. So I'm ready to go.
Yeah, it's important because we want all of you to receive this in the fullness of your body. And we know there's so much information on the internet. So if you've landed here, stay with us. Get yourself comfortable. Maybe get a warm beverage, cup of tea, a cacao, and ease into this space because this isn't just information. Christina and I are going to be transmitting frequencies and energy through our sharing and our storytelling, and we're going to co-create something magic for you guys based on whatever we talk about so that you have a visceral experience and it helps you propel forward on your either your entrepreneurial journey or transitioning out of your career wherever you're at right now, which is still an entrepreneurial journey. So Christina, let's get into it. So you were a freaking pharmacist, and when did you get the soul calling? Like, what was happening that you had to transition?
So my dad owned a pharmacy in Long Island. So you'll hear my accent come out whenever I do podcasts or I speak. People are like, Jersey, Long Island. Somebody nailed it actually recently. And I was like, I don't know how you knew right away it was Long Island, but that's where I'm from. My dad had a pharmacy and I worked there since I was old enough to hold a broom. Like I started sweeping the floors. I helped old ladies find birthday cards for their like grandkids or whatever. And I grew up in a pharmacy. So, of course, it was very natural to do what was acceptable and what I knew my dad would want, right? Like become a pharmacist, you're going to have flexibility and you can be a mom and also do that. And like if I look back, I would have been like, Dad, that's actually not true. Because it was when I was a pharmacist, it was 12-hour shifts back to back.
Mm.
And it would have been very hard to have a child and also do that. God bless these pharmacists who do it full time. But in my during pharmacy school, I started to get this soul nudge that I was meant for more. And my family dynamic is very what's the best way to say it? Spicy. Like there was some chaos there and some control dynamics that I knew if I stayed at this pharmacy, I would not be fulfilled. I would not be happy. My sister worked there, my mom, my dad. It was just like a
Oh,
family
wow.
affair. So it was very layered. And we know that when, you're at the pharmacy and then you come home, there's really not much boundary. Everything blended together. So I knew intuitively that I couldn't participate in that anymore and that I wanted to go off and do my own thing. So I actually decided to pursue a residency, which is after pharmacy school. So pharmacy school is 6 years, and then you can choose to do another year after that. And I just knew that this was my path. And my parents were livid. They were like, "How dare you? We've, supported you, and like you're betraying us by leaving, wanting to leave and do something different." And it was really hard because at that time I was struggling with something called night eating syndrome. So it was kind of like a binge eating disorder, because I had so much suppressed trauma. I didn't know it at the time, but it was something that I struggled with daily. I had a lot of guilt and shame, anxiety around it. And I was also going and breaking off and doing my own thing. So not only was I like the black sheep of the family, I
Mhm.
was struggling with all of these other things and still having to show up and be, in pharmacy school. And that's a very intensive time. Like you have 18 credits, but it's really like 21 hours of study. It's very intensive and competitive. So I don't know. Something in my soul just knew that I had to do something different. Fast forward to when I actually got the residency, I actually had gotten denied from five of them before because like you pick your top five and I didn't match with any of them. So then it's something called the scramble where you have to go and get paired with all of the residencies that didn't match with anybody. So I, like by the grace of God, was able to get one, and it was in Brooklyn. So like it wasn't too far from, I grew up in Long Island, wasn't too far. And that next day, I got kicked out of my house. I came home and my mom was throwing everything out onto the lawn, like my shoes, my clothes, my whole childhood room. I wasn't allowed back in the house. I had money in there. I wasn't allowed to get it. And that was really my rock bottom. My dad asked for the key back to the pharmacy. I got fired that day. I was sleeping out of my car. I luckily had a friend that I could go stay with until I found a place to live. I think it was maybe like a week or two later. And I was in survival mode at that point because everything was stripped away and I had nothing but the clothes on my back, my car, and I was terrified. So I actually have a picture of me in the car. It was a little Mazda. It was a gray Mazda 3. And I talk about this in my signature talk that the rock bottom is not the end. It's actually the fertile ground for a new beginning because my old life could not serve, like I couldn't survive as that person anymore. So it was a complete identity shift into who I am today. And entrepreneurship became that fertile ground for my transformation. So I, went and did the residency. I picked myself back up. I was still like had so much PTSD and I had to figure it out. Like I didn't have my parents to lean on. And I talk about this in my first book about like the rock bottom, and I'm going to be writing about it again in the seventh book that I'm publishing soon. But I share this because I think so many of us are afraid to take that other path. And we're like, well, what's going to happen? It's like so uncertain.
Mhm.
And the nervous system loves predictability, it loves familiarity, it loves certainty. So I I am living proof that like 13 years later, and this is just the beginning, you can create so many amazing things, but it requires your healing, which is what I know you do. Helping people to heal and to show up and shine as their authentic self, as the woman, I call it the fully powered feminine that God made us to be. So I could keep talking, but I'll let you ask a
No,
question.
I love this because I feel collectively so many women and men are at choice points right now. And things are being stripped away. The things that are not in alignment, even in our, like at every evolution as we're
Yes.
growing, we're being invited to grow into something else, right? And we can talk more about what you're growing and stepping into
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
But what
I'll
you're
tell you all
saying,
my failures.
well, no, I want to talk about that because people are so scared of loss and abandonment, right?
Yep.
And they're letting those same wounds and those fears actually create more loss and abandonment and betrayal until that doesn't dictate them. Like that story is not the sticky story that's making it happen again and again. I'm sure you see this time and time and again with
Mhm.
yourself and clients. So talk about this more because I know you do this work.
Yeah, so my fully powered framework that I
Mhm.
channeled over the summer, and it's
Yeah.
like I could talk about this forever because I'm so excited about it. The way that this came through actually was through the TED Talk process. And I had applied to 32 TED Talks. I think it's like 34 by now. Um, and I kept getting rejections or just people, they wouldn't write back. And so in that time, it was almost like that, the caterpillar to the butterfly. I don't know where the butterfly phase is, but
It's coming. It's
um,
coming.
So in that time, I got to work and I was like, okay, what is my idea worth spreading? And then the fully powered framework came through where I talk about these low voltage patterns, which is what you're talking about here with like people pleasing, perfectionism, shame,
Mhm.
overthinking, these protective parts that try to keep us safe because
Mhm.
again, when these traumatic things happen, our body goes into survival mode and I call it the 1%. Like on if you looked at your phone and it was on 1% battery, you'd freak out. You'd be like, "Oh my God, I need to plug this in somewhere." And that's how so many people are walking around because we haven't healed those wounds. We haven't attuned with these protective parts that are trying to keep us safe, but they're costing us connection. They're costing us profit in our business. They're costing us the ability to receive love and not sabotage it. Like all of that. By the way, I've done all of these things, and I say this in my talk too. Like I have done all of the things and given my power away in every area. That's why I'm so passionate about teaching this framework because these are three evidence-based things that I have drilled down over 13 years of working with thousands of people worldwide. And I know that these are evidence-based. These are things that have been studied to help people reconnect back to who they really are. So I developed, this language around like fully powered and the low voltage patterns. And then I made it into, I was like, there's a book here. And then I made it into a book. And then I created this TED Talk, luckily with so many different people that supported me throughout this journey. Suzanne, business coach. I had a nervous system, still have a nervous system coach, a speaker coach. I took a speaker training. Like I gave it my all. And then I had in August, there was a specific TED talk that I thought I was getting. And I was like, there's no way I'm going to get this. Da, 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 da. Didn't get it. I'm like, okay, now is my choice point, like you talked about.
Yeah.
Now is my pivot point to take this into my own hands. So I got to work, I practiced and practiced that signature talk, and now it's reached I think like 3,500 people on Facebook, it's on YouTube, and I know that I can leverage that now. So it's like I don't need TEDx to validate me because before I was like choose me, choose me and that's not fully powered. So I had to
So,
become fully powered. And honestly, so yesterday, this is a great example of like how this work helps. I saw actually, I didn't even get it. I didn't even get a no. I saw that TEDx Gainesville had picked their speakers. And I was like, okay, 30, rejection 32 or whatever it is. And I literally felt nothing in my body. And it wasn't a numbness. It was like, I've already done the damn thing. Like I did my TED talk. Maybe it wasn't with a red circle and all of that, but like, I guess the point is, I know so many of us are afraid to fail. We're afraid of the unknown. But even if you fall flat on your face, like pivot and do it anyway. Moved to Pennsylvania, got engaged, didn't marry that guy. Now I'm married to someone even better. Like there is a pivot point. There is a way to like turn it to gold. And I believe that you can do that with anything. So let me be the proof for you.
wow. That's I'm just like taking all of that in because it's so inspiring. But you wouldn't even have the level of embodiment that you have today if you didn't go through all of those things. Like to actually be able to hold the space through others that are really moving through it. And that's what makes you an amazing business and intuitive transformational coach. It's because those of us who walk our talk, it's a different quality of a container. And so I want to talk about your next evolution right now of what you are moving through, what
The
you're really
butterfly
being,
phase.
what are you being called to build and grow into now?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I see this as a movement, the fully powered movement. Like I said, it's kind of an ecosystem. So it was the talk, like the signature talk. Then it was, I have a bunch of people in this anthology, the fully powered anthology, which is book number 7. And then I actually have a fully powered feminine program that we just got off the call today. So it's this beautiful evolution of how this idea that God channeled in was able to kind of take roots and impact so many people. And the fully powered movement is really about going from survival to fully powered so that God can use us, because he can't use us if we're burnt out. He can't use us if we're stuck in all of these survival patterns. And like, trust me, I'm not healed whatsoever. Like, I still get triggered. I still have the freak out moments, but like, I am much more regulated and able to come back and say, okay, like, what part of me is coming up that needs a hug, connection, to go out in nature, to take a walk, like whatever that is, because I've done this work for so long. So that's really what I would love to see, is just more people, um, yeah, just like the influence, the impact of my reach. And I've been applying to things like Mind Valley and Hay House, and like seeking bigger stages, because I know that this message is timely, it's needed,
Mhm.
and like, this is what I'm born to do. I'm actually about to, it's funny we're having this talk. I'm coming up on my nodal return. So that is actually, so your north node is your destiny point, and it only happens every 19 years. And it's like October 10th is when it's directly hitting.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know what is going to, stay tuned, everybody, because I don't
Yeah.
know
Stay
what's going
tuned.
to
No, but this
happen.
is like triumphant. That's like the word that I hear, like triumphant. It's like, I feel like angelics blowing their horns about your hero's journey. Like literally going into the depths of the shadow and the unknown, but coming out always stronger. And I think that's so important. Like we might not get what we always think that we want,
Yeah,
but we get put where we're supposed to be. And you like even creating your own stage, I'm sure that was a whole learning experience that you wouldn't have even gotten if you just did the TEDx talk.
right. If I would have gotten it in like May or June, yeah, I never would have done that. And I know how God works, and this is for everybody. Like, I'm sharing
Yeah.
this because it's applicable for everybody. Like, God doesn't necessarily care about the outcome. He cares about who you become. That's why the book,
Exactly.
it's like it's a becoming. It, like you said, it's an evolution. I see like a butterfly in my mind's eye. It's really that. Like, I had to grow in not seeking that approval. Like, oh, well, TEDx is up here and I'm down here. Like, that's how I felt when I first started applying. I'm like, I'm not freaking good enough. Like, my doctorate degree, that doesn't mean anything. But until I started going through and being like, wait, I do have things to say, it, I became fully powered. I really don't care, like TEDx or not. I'm here making an impact. And there was, I want to share this because I saw this on Instagram. Estee Lauder got rejected by, I don't even, it was like some of the big, like Neiman Marcus or whatever, the big like Macy's or whatever, whenever she first approached them with her skincare line. And she was like, you know what, I'm gonna go out and like grassroots effort and go show people and have women test this out. And it became so big that they had no choice but to like put her stuff in the stores. So like, that's, don't let rejection or like your path being redirected stop you. And I feel like I see that a lot. Even with my clients, they're like, oh, well, like I can't do that. Or like we put so many limits on ourselves. And it's like, no, you are freaking amazing. Like go for it and keep going, because it's going to lead to somewhere great and triumphant.
Yeah, well, I think what happens is not everybody has the resilience and the perseverance to keep going once they get knocked down, because once they get knocked down and they fail, it just feeds those wounds and it just perpetuates, I'm going to give up. And it's like that, image where the person is right there, almost at the finish line, and
Yeah.
they didn't know it. And then they turn around and it's like, oh, you were so close.
Yeah.
But as you're talking, it's like I see how plugged back in to power you are. And I think that that is so important right now, the work that you're doing, because as we plug back into our own power, we plug back into that God source light, and something else starts to animate and move our body and move our decisions, right? Like it's like there's this new fuel inside of you that helps you keep going when it's
Right.
hard, when you're having the breakdowns, when you're crying on the floor and you're like, why is this so freaking hard? I mean, I think we've all been there as entrepreneurs.
Yes. I loved how you said, I want to go back to this. Like
Yeah.
you nailed it with it's connecting to source. Like that
Yeah.
is I give it to God. Like the glory is to God. Like he's
Mhm.
gifted me, he's gifted you with all of us with everything that we need. And if I feel like if I'm not plugged into God, I'm that's my ultimate power source. So like I think that's where a lot of people maybe don't have that or they don't have whether you believe in God or source or spirit or the universe, like connecting to something higher than yourself. Because then we feel if we don't have that, we feel like we have to carry it all and do it all ourselves. Like a lot of times I'm like, I'm done. I need to surrender this to you. And then it's like boom, 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 all these things start happening. So like not relying on our own human brain is sometimes the hardest thing. Like just getting the hell out of the way and being like, all right, you
True.
got it, take the wheel.
I love that. So many pings were happening as you
Yeah,
said that
yeah.
because it comes to the point where there's a differentiating process of when we're making the journey about us or we're making it in devotion to God, a higher power, a service, and we're here as an instrument to do
Right.
the work. And I think that you and all the people that I like to invite onto my podcast is we got that call and it was like no matter what, we're devoted to that call because it's the inner knowing. Now, our humanness will kick in, right? It will kick in and we'll make it about us at times. But as long as we can come back and be like, everything is actually provided for, maybe not the way that we want it to look. Like, if we all look back in our lives during the hard times, we made it through it, right? Like we make it through these things. So anybody that's watching this right now, anything that you're going through, you're going to make it through it, but surrender it. Surrender it to a higher power and come back to your why on why you chose to do this and what your mission is, what your purpose is. Because when you stay rooted in that, that's when the doors open, right?
Absolutely. And especially when you know, what you talked about, like being able to hold, or maybe I was thinking about this, like holding your desires, it takes the nervous system work, like the capacity to be able to hold that. Or you were talking about resilience. Like I have the capacity because I built it. So it
Mm-hmm.
because I've done this inner work over 13 years and like still going, right? Like we both invest in ourselves to receive that because and I don't say this from a cocky place, but like I know I'm meant for big things. I know that I'm meant to speak on stages to help a lot of people and we both are to raise consciousness, to elevate humanity because we need it.
Man, you just touched on something and I want you to dive into this. You said that you built like basically the inner scaffolding to hold
Yes.
it. That's what we need to educate people. How did you do that? And why is it so important? And why is that the differentiator right now? Because it
Yeah.
is the differentiator.
Yeah, so as an example, if you because if not you're going to settle, you're going to shrink or sabotage your
Hmm.
desires. So when they come to you, say as an example, here's I'll use myself that I grew up with an emotionally unavailable father. And so I was attracting all these men that were emotionally unavailable. And I was as well, right? Because I wasn't speaking my truth. I was suppressing my emotions. And I had to do the inner healing to actually hold love because it felt unfamiliar. Like love felt very foreign to me because to me, love was getting yelled at, getting hit, silent treatment. It was inconsistent. So I had to do that work to hold a loving partner to call that person in. And that required me to strip off masks, people pleasing, like all of those things. And my husband and I are not perfect, but we I think have a really great marriage. So that's one example. Another could be in business. If you don't feel safe, like I could never have spoken on stage and been that visible because that wouldn't have felt safe to my nervous system. So I had to build the foundation of, okay, what if I'm misunderstood? What if people think I'm crazy because I'm talking about energy work? Like I had to meet myself at every level. What if no one claps? If no one applauses? Like it's you and yourself. And that's what entrepreneurship is going to challenge you with all, it's going to be a mirror for all of these wounds. And unless you have support to build that foundation, when it comes your way, you're going to, oh, I can't do it. Right. And I kind of did that with the TEDx. I was like, I can't do this. Like, I wasn't ready. And then, I got the mentorship, and Suzanne was like, you're doing it.
It's so funny too because when I entered Suzanne's world, I didn't enter thinking I was going to be a global speaker. That like wasn't even like on my
Right.
radar.
Right.
I got in there, I just was called to her, right? And then as she was asking questions, it was like, "Why are you here?" And I'm like, "Because I'm a global speaker." Ooh, ooh, oh, that's scary. Oh, overwhelming, right? Like,
Yeah.
like I mean, there's a difference of like speaking and coaching and teaching and holding live events than getting on stages and doing the signature talks. There's a lot that goes into being able to hold that kind of space in your
Oh
body.
my God. Yeah. Like, just not even logistic wise.
Yeah.
Like, there's actually a girl who she was like, oh, she wants to go to the church that I booked, and she wants to book that. And then she's like, oh, well, who did your backdrop? And I'm like, okay, you want to go duplicate my event, but like, it's gonna take work, that's fine. Like, and I'm glad I inspired you. It's gonna take work. Not only like I did not have notes up there. I did not go or like. It was like nailed down. God flowed through me. So like, you can do that. But it takes the nervous system work, like I said, to hold that level of eyes on you. Like, people are going to project onto you. Look at Taylor Swift. Like, people call her demonic, or all these different things. Like, it's
Yeah.
hard.
I
There's a
know.
lot of negative things that can happen as a result of it. So you have to have the inner foundation to not crumble and go hide in a corner somewhere.
It's so important as a facilitator and a speaker because as you're up there, like you said, you're getting the projections, but people are releasing. And most of us that are change agents and global speakers and transformational guides, we're highly sensitive
Yeah.
empaths, right? So, like, we have to go through a serious training, like with, I don't know about you, but every time I up level and I'm doing like a big event or something big,
Yeah.
it's like I have to fucking shed my bullshit. Otherwise, when the projections come at me, it's gonna stick. And so I have to speak to the audience and like not pay attention to who's twitching, who's moving, who's giving off like I am not into this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh,
It's
all of that.
all of
Exactly.
it.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, such a big thing. And who knows, maybe you're actually going to put together a curriculum to help people in your community to make their own stage the way you did it. Like maybe that was also part of the path for you.
Oh, it's already the offer's already in my head.
Is it? I feel like you
Yeah.
need to do that because you will help so many, because that's the next level. When we talk about evolution, it's like, okay, yeah, you went from pharmacist to transformation coach, business coach, and now you're going to a speaker. And then there's going to be something again and again and again. And so I love this evolutionary journey that we're all on and it never stops, guys. That's why it gets easier, right? It gets easier when you're thrown into the fire, things are stripped away, you're like, okay, I gotta show up at a whole new level again.
Exactly. Yeah, it's not easy. That's why you need support. It's big time, like,
I
the
want you to talk about too is business because so many people don't understand that the energetics and the frequency and the inner work and the nervous system regulation are the strategy.
right.
Like, are the
Exactly.
strategy. So, will you give from your standpoint on
Yeah.
that?
So here's an example. Hi, my name is Dr. Christina Fontana, and I help with business coach. Hi, I'm Dr. Christina Fontana, and I help you to skyrocket your confidence, clients, and cash flow. Like, your inner world is going to come out when you stand at a networking meeting, when you go live on camera. And again, these low voltage patterns are going to come up to protect you because it doesn't yet feel safe for your nervous system to receive eyes on you, or visibility, or ease and flow with money, or whatever it is. So I always tell people, it's your energy and frequency is 95% of of the whole thing. Like you can chat GPT the other 5%, but if you're not really looking at that, your old patterns are going to be pulling you back. So that I think is what make like I know that a lot of people talk about like, oh, is AI going to replace blah blah blah. Like good luck. Your AI cannot rewire your nervous system. It cannot attune with you and help you shift quickly.
No, it
So,
actually can do the difference, right? By being on your phone and attached to the electronics in the device, it actually can fry you quickly.
exactly. Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think of that one.
No, you're right, because you're talking about charging up. We're talking about speaking fully powered from our soul, from our brilliance, our innate intelligence, our life experience. And AI can't replace that. It can help streamline it. Like I use AI, but I talk into it and then I go back and forth. I'm like, can you write that in a paragraph? Can you make sure
Right.
the grammar's good? Right? But yeah.
So yeah, I think that and I use a specific like it's kind of like I know that there's Marissa Peer does like rapid transformation. I don't use that method. I have my own kind of channeled rapid transformation technique that I use. So I can look at someone within 5 minutes and kind of diagnose these patterns and help them get to the root of the core wound. And then we transmute that energy and then I pair it with strategy. And I'm like, okay, now that we've seen whatever wanted to come through for you, how do we then put it into action? What does that look like for you? What are you really excited about implementing in your business? And what are, I call them high return on energy tasks. So things that you love to do that move the needle in your business that result in a compound effect of clients, cash flow, opportunities. So like that's kind of how I pair the energetics with the strategy to help. I call it skyrocket your confidence, clients, and cash because there is a compound effect. When you focus your energy with framework, support, accountability, and you show up fully powered and you have the capacity to receive, imagine the things you could create. And
Mm.
that's how I've created. Like people are like 7 books. I'm like, yeah, it's like I'll have 7 books. I won't have another kid, but I'll do 7 books.
But those are your babies. Like you're literally birthing things to the
Yeah.
world. They're those creations. So before we talk about and wrap it up with how people can work with you and find you, and I'm gonna have everything in the show notes, I want to give us an activation. And as you were
Okay.
just talking, I saw all this money in your heart space. There was like all this cash flow. As you were talking about things, it was like your heart field was getting bigger. And I was like, I was seeing cash flow into the heart space. So I was like, okay, so maybe we should co-create. Um, let me just tune in for a second.
Okay.
I think this will be fun. Yeah, we're gonna co-create how to open up to receive higher cash flow months, like in the body. That sounds fun, right?
Okay. Yeah. Let's
Yeah,
do it.
we'll co-create. I'll start and then I'll pass it to you, and we'll just pass it back and forth until it feels complete. How's that sound?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Beautiful. So everybody just close their eyes and take this sitting upright. And I invite you to just let go of the worries of the day and anything on your to do list, and to be centered with us and to help ground you into your body even more. Place the right hand on the belly and the left hand on your heart. And just allow yourself to breathe and regulate and soften. There's nothing you have to do in this moment, but be open to receive. To receive what is meant for you, what is looking for you, what is waiting for you to say yes and to get out of your way and to release the judgment that you place on yourself and others. I'm going to pass that to you, Christina.
So I want you to imagine that you see doors all around you in your energy field. And these doors are quantum portals for you with all of the opportunities, the clients, the money, the love, the abundance that is waiting for you. And so you could just imagine that all of those doors are suddenly opening And it doesn't feel overwhelming, but it feels exciting that you get to receive what's right in front of you, what's been orbiting your energy in this vortex. And so just opening your heart to receive what's here for you, not needing to know how, not needing to know if it's working, just seeing your heart open. And then all of those doors open. And maybe you see images or you feel sensations, you hear words in your mind's ear, and you just get so excited for this potential, tapping into the quantum field of infinite possibilities for your life, for how God wants to use you in infinite ways, and seeing every cell of your body light up with a golden frequency. I'm seeing a figure 8. This infinite abundance is just programmed and coded all throughout your energy. Letting this land softly in your aura and letting it be easy, letting yourself soften, letting yourself receive. I'll pass it back.
Mhm. So we're opening up your abundance channels, your receptivity channels. Breathe it in, more divine flow with ease. Making money can be easeful. Being seen in your gifts can be easeful. You don't have to struggle to earn. You can do it with more fun and joy and softness and be in your feminine power with masculine frameworks. Your skeletal system is your masculine framework. And I want you to think of the blood and the lymph as the divine flow, the divine currency of your wealth circuit, your wealth. And feel the lymphatic fluid pumping as we start to just pump our hands. Let's just pump our hands together as we open up more of our receptivity channels. And we claim more of our abundance and power because it is our divine birthright. It is our divine birthright to be in overflow. Breathe in the overflow. Place your right hand over your left shoulder and your left hand over your right. Breathe in that infinity circuit, that infinity loop, the abundance codes. This is your choice point to change your belief systems, to know that you are worthy to receive more and to live in overflow and to go for it and to seek support. To seek support. A couple of deep breaths in, grounding into that belly, grounding into those toes. I'll just pass that back to you and you can close it out.
I want you to take a moment and just celebrate yourself today. Celebrating the gifts that you have, the health that you have, the money, the love, the divine orchestration of how everything in this universe works for you. Even your challenges can become gifts. They can become your biggest blessings. A miracle is a shift in perception. So today we choose to see things differently. I pray that God, source, spirit, the universe shows you something miraculous today. That with your awareness, with you listening to this episode, something shifted inside of you. Maybe your heart opened, a part of you softened, you exhaled, and you remembered and reconnected to who you really are as your fully powered feminine self, here as a spark of divinity to ignite hearts everywhere. And so, celebrating yourself in this moment for everything that you've done, the growth, the transformation, even the hardships, and sealing this in with love. Maybe saying something kind to yourself in this moment. Breathing that in, exhaling, and then letting your eyes flutter open.
Mm. Just take a moment for everyone to land into their bodies and soak in that nectar, soak in that compassion, that love, that softness. That is a strategy. Yeah, just soak it in. Thank you, Christina, so much. That was such a delicious activation. I really felt it in my
That was the
body.
appetizer. That was the sampler.
Yeah, guys. So let's talk about how people can work with you, what you got going on, um,
Yeah.
so people can get more of this.
So I would love to offer my fully powered feminine bundle that is actually part of my seventh book. So with that, there is a soulful marketing course that I've created. It's for videos that will help you attract more abundance and clients. I also have in there the draft, so you get a sneak peek of my seventh book, and then there is also a secret podcast episode talking about how I built my own stage and everything, how you can pretty much turn shit to gold. That's what I called it.
Oh, I love that.
So, and then if you'd like, you can join my Expanding Your Brilliance community. So there are 3,300 people in there and growing, healers, coaches, light workers. So you're more than welcome to join there.
I will have all the links in the show notes so you guys can stay connected. And this was amazing. It was so
Thank you
good to
so
have
much.
you.
Yeah, that
No,
last part
I
was
mean,
super fun.
we could have talked for longer, but I know we want to wrap this up and keep it
Yeah.
short for you guys. So thank you so much. And this, yeah, give her, oh, I'll put your Instagram. You're on Instagram too. So
Yep.
we'll put
At the
her.
pharmacist coach. Yep.
All right. Well, thank you guys. And stay tuned for next week's podcast. Blessings. Mwah. That was fun.
Yeah.
I'm still in that little activation that we co-created together.
Yeah, that was super cool.